What are we learning in the classrooms? What is the importance of going to school? What do we do when we go to that place every single morning? What is that we're actually learning? It's important for us not to go to school just to memorize and recite the books. The libraries where we study. What are we actually learning there? Why is it so important to go to school and instead of just memorizing curriculums, we actually are educating ourselves? As Africans, it's important for us to start looking into the classroom as a place to empower ourselves. What are we actually learning, Africans, in the classrooms? Are you learning about African history? Why is it important for us to not only memorize the books, but also to empower our minds? Is it important for us to learn more about African history in school? Let's find out. Greetings, African family, and welcome to another episode of For the Africans. Today, we want to speak about a very important topic. What is that the children are actually learning in the classrooms? When our parents were fighting for African freedom, were fighting to decolonize our countries in Nigeria, in Mozambique, in Cape Verde, they didn't have the means to find out what is going on in other countries around the continent. In this day and age, we have all these social media platforms where we can actually find out about what is going on in many countries around Africa in real time. Every morning, throughout this continent, many children go to school, but we wonder if the parents do really care about what the children are learning in school. Do they really follow the curriculums that the schools demand? Many times when we go to schools, we were constantly being prepared to be a good employee in the future and do the 9 to 5, get our paycheck at the end of the month and go home. Rarely you see children being empowered to think for themselves, to find out what they really love, what they're passionate about, what kind of skills they have, what can they create. You see, classrooms should be a place where we are empowered to ask questions. We are empowered to find out more information about the things that we didn't know yesterday. Not to just sit down and listen to someone tell us what we need to put in that piece of paper at the end of the year in those exams. It doesn't matter if you really understand what you're studying. As long as you put what the professor wants in that paper, you don't really get to have the results that you so much seek. We are not empowered to tap into our ability to create. We are not empowered to tap into our skills. We are not empowered to find out more about ourselves. We are not empowered to think about what we want to do in the future. We are empowered to memorize and follow orders. We cannot see school as a space that we're just going to go there and memorize the books, apply into the exams, and then we get the grades, show them to our parents, and they get happy. What do we really take from that? Why is it really so important for us to keep memorizing these textbooks and apply it into some random exams, and then after the end of the year, we don't even remember where we studied the year before? This keeps happening over and over again. How many of us remember what we did 5 years ago in school? Not many of us can be entrepreneurs. Not many of us can be business owners. We believe that in order to develop this continent, in order to advance as people, we should start empowering ourselves in the classrooms. We should go to the classrooms with a mission to educate ourselves as Africans. You see, the more that we educate ourselves, we're going to be able to live the dream life that we want to have. We're going to be able to have the peace of mind, the freedom. Next time you go to school, ask yourself, what are you really doing there? What is that you're really learning? What is that you're really spending your time on? Why is it so important for us to go and find out more about our cultural heritage? Why is it so important to not be followers tomorrow, but to be leaders? Why is it so important for us to go and think about how we can change our communities? How we can bring the development that we see happening in other places? Why is it so important for us as Africans to re-educate ourselves every single day? We have access to the libraries. We have access to books. Next time that you go to a school, a high school or a university, ask yourself, what is that I'm really doing here? Emancipation from mental slavery can only be achieved with Pan-African education. We honor the ancestors by learning and promoting African history and culture. Inishe, esse, botondi.